In the starting of the story, we saw a bird is flying, and suddenly something happens to it. It falls down, and someone tears the stomach and comes out. And she say, damn, how is there still a void devouring demon birds in this place? Didn't all these beasts die out when Pangu split the heavens to think that I, the mighty ancestor of the Styx River, Mingi would sacrifice the boundless blood sea? I cultivated all my life just to uncover the secret of the end of the Great Dao. But then 3 monsters appears and attack on Mingi. And when Mingi is trying to defend the wolf monster, cut her arm, and the green monster damage her leg. Mingi stepped back and she saw she lost his one arm, and instantly she recovers her arm and used his spell to attack on them. After that, she got blood vomit. She say, has the blood sea been completely depleted? Another fatal blow. And I fear I won't even be able to revive through blood fusion. But from somewhere monster bird come to attach on her. She say, am I truly destined to die here today? I haven't found the secret of the Great Dao's end yet. I refuse to accept this. I refuse to accept this if someone could save me. Now I'd take them as my final disciple for sure. No, I'd even consider making them my closest friend. I'd even recognize them as my stepfather if it comes to that. Huh, what's that sound? And suddenly that monster bird fall, and from sky, a person come who's riding chicken. She got angry and she say, ah, what a chicken really. Why does it look somewhat familiar, Yang Li say. What a useless system with such a grand name, ultimate and invincible, my foot. Not only does it lack any useful functions, but now it can't even guide me properly. Oh no, did I hit someone? Now her name got reveled, her name was Mingi, and she say it seems my fate isn't sealed after all this. Boy's body brimming with spiritual energy, perfect nourishment for me right now, and looks unfamiliar. So he's likely not a reincarnation or descendant of some great primordial big shot. Absorbing his spiritual energy to restore my cultivation is the most critical task at hand. As for that, he just saved my life, repaying adept impossible, real devil's bite. The hands which feed them. Yang Li holds her shoulder and say, hey kid, wake up, hey little gray. Do you think this kid's gone dumb after we hit him? She's all wounded but still grinning stupidly. Here, we're in trouble now. Should we just run away quickly? But then Mingi wake up and say, big brother, I'm fine. Good, as long as you're fine, by the way, kid. What are you doing here all alone? Where are your family members? Mingi tell him, big brother don't know. I fell asleep earlier, and when woke up, I found myself here. I'm so scared this boy saved my life, and even called me kid after I absorb his spiritual energy. I'll give him a swift end, no unnecessary torment. I truly am a kind and compassionate demon ancestor. Yang Li say him, kid, your leg's injured. Come on, I'll carry you, Minghe. Thanks him, and when Yang Li pick up her, she have bad intentions and try to bite him. But because of too much energy, she fall away and say primal chaos. True key. This kind of innate primal chaos key could only belong to a great primordial power. Even at my peak, I wouldn't have able to rival it. Looks like I'm doomed today, mercy, big brother. No! And she make a cute face and say, stepfather, I'm your real daughter, I swear. Yang Li looks at him seriously. Mingi says, he, his stepfather, what are you staring at? And then she thinks that I sacrificed the blood, sea imbued with Pangus essence, just to reach the end of the Great Dao. This is my weakest moment. Even if I throw away my pride, I absolutely can't fall here. Yang Li say, I just went out for a hunt, and now I suddenly have an adopted daughter. Could it be Little Gray wasn't careful and bumped this dumb kid? If I leave her here and she gets eaten by a beast, wouldn't that deepen my sins? Damn, this useless fat chicken eats everything but accomplishes nothing, landing on such a wide open area. Yet you still manage to hit someone finey. After all, it's my mount. It's Mess's mine to clean up. I'll take this child and send her home. Maybe her family knows the way out of this desolate land. And he asks, hey kid, what's your name? And how about stepfathers takes you home? Mingi tell him, my name is Mingi. My father's a general of the Asura clan, and she says excitedly, I know way back home. And she goes to the side and starts thinking. With her bad idea, perfect, once we're in Asura territory, I'll tie you up tight. If you're skin and bones, it wouldn't make up for my losses. And while she is thinking this, she hears someone's voice saying, Ancestor Minghe, you've reached the end of the Great Dao with difficulty, yet you're only thinking of leaving? Even though this place restricts divine abilities, following this person around lets me improve my cultivation while eating and driving freely. And then Mangi starts looking for that voice and says that, who's there who's using telepathy to speak to me? And Yang Li, standing far away, also thinks, poor thing, she must have been knocked silly. I better hurry and send her home, and Yang Li will come to him and say, kid, stay here with Little Gray. I'll go get us some food once we're full. We'll head home. Minghe says, okay. And when Yingli leaves to look for food, Little Gray tells Mingy that it's been a while. Ancestor Mingy, it's me, Kunpeng. And when she heard this, she got surprised, and then we got a little explanation about Kun. In the northern sea, there is a fish. Its name is Kun. The Kun is so huge, no one knows how many thousands of miles it spans. It transforms into a bird. Noah's Peng. The Peng's back is so vast, no one knows how many thousands of miles it spans. Kunpeng is the child of the first phoenix. One of the previous generation's rules of heaven and earth. He is now the strategist of the heavenly court of the primordial demon clan, second only to the heavenly emperor. He is known as the demon strategist. He is of the sacred realm. After this explanation, Minga says, Kunpeng, why do you look so fat now? Kunpeng says, hey, keep your voice down. Yangli doesn't know my real identity. Mingy thinks that great demon strategist. Why aren't you straying in the heavenly court? A grand ancestor pretending to be a common chicken? Kunpeng tells him 10 years ago, I flew beyond the primordial horizon, searching for opportunities in the boundless void. I accidentally triggered some mysterious taboo and was transported here these past years following this boy. I've eaten many exotic beasts. My body is full of spiritual energy, but without divine abilities to refine it, I ended up looking like this. Minga say to him, you just said following this Yangli human could improve cultivation? Kunpeng tell him, of course, though I don't know why, my cultivation has advanced rapidly in the last 10 years. I might even surpass you. Minge ha 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 ha. Minge says, stop bragging. If you're so powerful, why lower yourself to be someone mount? Kunpeng explained him, that boy is terrifying. He looks like a mere mortal, but he's a natural saint with immense strength. Every exotic beast falls prey to him with ease. He peels their tendons and bones, and turns then into meals. I have no power now. How dare I provoke him? I suspect he's akin to Pangu, a being born at the end of the Great Dao, destined to inherit the heavens and become a natural saint. Mingy got shocked and say, a natural saint? And at that point, Yangli is coming back. Minga says that's a primordial star Kun, which feeds on celestial bodies. And she start breathing heavily. Kunpeng says, believe me, over the past 10 years, he's eaten every beast at the end of the Great Dao. And Mingy, listen to me. This place is deeper than it seems. You're in over your head. And Mingy thinks I don't believe in this natural saint nonsense. Once I find a way to bypass the restriction on divine abilities, I'll definitely deal with this Yangli and avenge my humiliation. After that, Mingy opens a portal to go Asura clan, and inside of that portal, all Asura clan generals was waiting for Mingy, and they are saying the ancestor was once the greatest power below the saints. Now, having depleted the blood sea to glimpse the secret of the end of the Great Dao, she's bound to achieve the rank of a saint, and the first of the 4 great demon kings of the heavenly Mara king, and she says, haha. The Asura clan was painstakingly created by the ancestor, and heaven granted merit equal to Nuwa's feat of creating humanity. Our clan was been trapped in the blood sea for too long, now that the ancestor has returned. And all the members and generals shout and say that, who in this world dares to stop us from rising again? Asura shall rise, the ancestor shall become a saint. Asura shall rise, the ancestor shall become a saint. And while they are all chanting, the portal gets a little bigger, and they are all very happy to see that our ancestor is here. And seeing a little movement in the portal, Mara King says the ancestor's coming out. And after she says this, our chapter opens a little more, and seeing it, Mara King says that the ancestor coming out ahead, and now on all the members and generals had their eyes on this portal. And from this portal, the Yangli and Mingy are sitting on Kunpeng's top. Everyone is surprised to see Yangli, with Mingy. Kunpeng tells them that emergency landing, I can't hold any longer. But Yangli says that this is strange. It was clear skies earlier. Why did it suddenly turn cloudy? And Minghe gives her evil smile. And just then the Kunpeng falls down, carrying them both. And he says that, is this the end for me? But Yangli and Minghe Sefli came down. Yangli says, hey, fat chicken, are you still alive? Mara King thinks, who is this person? Why is the ancestor with them? Yangli tell them, are you relatives of Minghe? Don't worry, this child has stuffered a bit, but nothing serious. At most, just a little scarred. And all the generals are surprised to hear this. Mara King says that what? Minghe, a child. And when she says this, lightning starts to crackle in the clouds there, and a bright light appears and falls on top of Minghe. And because of this, his strength and his most powerful armor return to him. And she says, HMPH. Excellent, my strength has returned. And those swords of hers also come back, the Abi sword and UNTU sword. And she says, Yangli, prepare yourself to die. But Minghe's swords fall from her hands, and she got surprised. And the general didn't understand anything either. Mara King say, that. Those are the ancestors' companion treasures. The divine swords, UNTU and Abi. And then we are told that a few seconds ago, when Minghe is about to attack Yangli, both of Minghe's swords are afraid of Yangli power and say, give up, Minghe. Thinks that what's happening, my 2 companion treasures? They've left my control. Minghe's swords are so scarred, and they says resistance so powerful that immediately, and those two swords fall from Minghe's hands by themselves. At this very moment, Minghe also got too sacred and starts shaking, and thinks that with this power, if it wants to destroy the Asura clan, even I might be powerless to stop it. What do? I just tried to kill him a moment ago. And while she's thinking this, Yangli puts his hand on her head and says, such a playful little girl, behaving like a monkey. How should I educate you? A monkey. Right. I'll educate her, like Tang Sanzang educated Sun Wukong. I'm so clever. Wukong? Minghem, how many times I told you, don't litter. What if you hurt someone? Even if no one gets hurt, it's not good to damage plants and flowers. And Yangli starts to pick up those two swords, and when he picks them up, they crack. Yangli says that swords are too dangerous. Look, they're even cracked. Kids playing with these can easily get hurt. And he stored those two swords on his system inventory. Minghe got surprised and say that the stepfather conflicted them, and she starts crying. Kunpeng is also secretly laughing. Yangli say to Minghe's stepdaughter, I didn't took it for nothing. And he takes out a shovel from his inventory and says children should play with things like this. Minghe thinks that who wants this thing and who like to play with this shovel? But when she looks at it carefully, she sees it have aura of Hongmengqi, and she got very happy after that. We got a little explanation about Hongmengqi. Hongmengqi is the foundation of the Dao. Figures like Hongjun Daozu, the three pure ones, and Nuwa only achieve sainthood after obtaining it. And Minghe is very happy too, because she got that shovel and she hugs him and starts crying and says this shovel holds ancient chaotic energy, far surpassing Yuan Tu and Abi. It's an innate treasure. With just this trace of Hongmengqi, one might find an opportunity to soar to unimaginable heights. And seeing Minghe's inverted actions, Yangli says, why are you crying? Don't you like it? And when Kunpeng finds out that Minghe have Hongmengqi, he got shocked. And he turns to Minghe and says, a divine treasure. I've been a mount for 10 years and didn't even manage to get a shovel. Why should you get a divine treasure as soon as you arrive? You dumb writer, I hate this plot. Minghe answer him, that's because stepfather gave it to me. What does a fat chicken like you need a shovel for? And all generals are confused to see this. They ask Lord Mara, what should we do? Mara King says, this situation is new to me too. I'm confused as well. As far as I know, the ancestor used her treasures to ambush this young man. That should make him an enemy. But instead of being angry, he gave her a gift, and now the ancestor seems overjoyed, almost deranged. Could this really be the ancestor stepfather? So how should we address the ancestor stepfather? Grandfather? And Yangli come to Mara King and says, I suppose this must be Minghe's mother? Be Minghe's mother. And he holds her and says that Minghe mentioned you. You and your daughter really look alike. Mara King says, I'm not. I didn't. Don't say that. And she starts to think that it's over ancestor Minghe. He is so petty. She's proud and considers herself the most exalted being in the world. If I dare acknowledge this, I'm doomed. Eternal torment followed by utter obliteration. And when she's thinking this, Minghe tell him she is my mother. Yangli told to Marasi, I knew it. And when they are talking, Mara start to think that I won't end up like that fool Kunpeng caught in his own web, reduced to being a mere mount. I build a good reputation first and rely on this stepfather Yangli. The path to sainthood is within my grasp. And she same stepfather, my mother must have been so overwhelmed by joy seeing me return safely that she momentarily lost her sense. Mara King replied, yes, I was a bit dazed. And then Yangli asked, who's these peoples? And when asked Yangli this, Minghe scares everyone with her power, and she says, anyone who blows my cover will be shrunk to sperm. And seeing her power, everyone starts giving their introductions to Yangli. One says, I'm Shiva, Minghe's uncle. I'm Brahma, Minghe's second uncle. I'm Kama, Minghe's their aunt. And after all of their introductions, Mara King tells Yangli that, then you, brother Yang, for bringing her back. Minghe is the heart and soul of our family. From now on, you're our family's savior. And upon hearing this, all the generals also say, yes, yes, our great benefactor. After that, Mara King says, come, brother Yang, you must stay at our mansion for a few days and let our family properly repay your kindness. And after saying this, Brahma starts opening the portal to go to mansion. And before going inside, Yangli says, you're all too kind, ha ha ha. Oh, by the way, my mount. And Kunpeng is lying in a very bad condition behind. Mara King says someone bring brother Yang's chicken too. And when they enter the portal, after they leave, a bright light from the sky falls on the earth, and from that light someone's come out. He's the demon emperor of the Yao tribe Dijun, and he says that he was here just now. Why is it empty now? Strange, I clearly sense the demon Mater's presence. And he also feels Minghe's aura there, and he says, that's Minghe's aura. Could the demon master have been captured and taken to the Asura's blood sea? And then we are shown the underworld where Minghe's mansion is. And inside the mansion, everyone is sitting and eating. Minghe says to Yangli, stepfather, now that we've completed the stepfather ceremony, I'm officially your stepdaughter. You can't go back on your word. And she also starts thinking about her own evil intentions. That since my blood sea is gone, I'll have to submit for now and reap some benefits. Once I become a saint, I'll make him call me godmother 100,000 times. I'm such a benevolent person. I'll make sure his death is swift and painless. And while she's thinking this, Mara King says, Brother Yang, you've saved Minghe and done our family a great favor meeting. You feels like destiny. Why not celebrate with a double blessing today? Michael also starts to think that it seems like she has fallen in love with me. Is she captivated by my handsomeness? Is she planning to abduct me as her groom? Mara King and Minghe wait for his answer. And when he doesn't say anything, Mara King says to him that, let's become sworn siblings. Young Li also says that you scared me to death. You're too kind. Since I've accepted Minghe as my stepdaughter, we're already family. Isn't that closer than being sworn siblings? Ha ha ha. After that, Minghe goes behind Yang Li and calls out to Mara King, come here. And Mara King also goes to her. Minghe says, what are you doing? Why are you trying to swear brotherhood with Yang Li? Mara replied on that ancestor, I'm just trying to help you win Yang Li's favor. Besides, he didn't even agree. Minghe says that I've got Yang Li under control. Tomorrow you'll say farewell to him. Without my permission, you're not allowed back. Mara King says, I'm not leaving. And she starts to think you went as far as calling me your mother to fool Yang Li into being your godfather, clearly. You can't afford to offend him. I might as well build a good relationship with Yang Li now, so you won't dare act rashly. And she starts to explain, Minghe ancestor, don't worry about me. From now on, I'll call you ancestor. But in front of Yang Li, you have to call me mom. Let's just keep things simple from now on. And after saying all this, they both go to their places and sit down. Mara King gives Yang Li a jade slip and says, here's a jade slip containing information about tens of thousands of notable factions in the Great Desolation. You can study it to deepen your understanding. Yang Li thanks to Mara. But Minghe says that, how naive. Stepfather wouldn't care about this insignificant ants, Mara King speaks. Minghe, don't be rude. Adults are talking, so children shouldn't interrupt. And hearing this from the Mara King's mouth, Minghe's mind wanders, and she becomes very angry. And after this, she gets very angry and starts attacking Mara King, and she says, how dare you? And Mara, the king, gets very scared seeing this, and she says, the blood fiend's light is invincible below the saint level. Even touching it would obliterate my soul. My life is over. But Yang Li comes up from behind, slaps him on the neck and says, is this how you talk to your mother? The Mara King is also surprised to see this and says, Brother Yang, you're too kind. This is just how we mother and daughter interact like sisters. Please don't mind us. Yang Li also starts lecturing Minghe, and he says, Minghe, your mother is a remarkable woman. She not only cares for you, but also manages such a large family. You should be understanding and filial. Stop being so petty. Minghe happily says, stepfather is right. And at the same time, she also scares Mara King with her aura. And while they are talking, a bolt of lightning strikes the mansion. Seeing this, Yang Li says, the sky is tearing open, but Mara King knows who's coming, and she says it's the Emperor of Heaven from the Yao clan. And from that lighting, Dijun comes. And Kunpeng gets very scared when he sees Dijun and looks for a place to hide and says, crap, His Majesty is here. He can't find out. And when Dijun says, I, the Grand Yao Master, have been reduced to someone else's mount, Kunpeng got very scared and he says, I need to hide somewhere. And there Minghe is talking to Dijun and saying, Dijun, are you tired of living? How dare you to come to my territory looking for trouble? Dijun replied, Reverend Minghe, did you capture the Yao Master Kunpeng from my heavenly court? And the Kunpeng hiding behind says to Minghe, Ancestor Minghe, if you help me to hide from His Majesty, I'll tell you all of Yang Li's quirks. You can use them to your advantage. Offering gifts will get you divine treasures easily. The Minghe is happy to hear this and says, I never expected this gray-feathered chicken to lower its head and beg one day. And she says to Dijun, Kunpeng, that fish-bird hybrid mutt, why would I, Minghe, have any interest in him? Dijun answer him, Minghe, I knew you wouldn't hand over the Yao Master easily. Don't blame me for this. And he takes out his scroll and starts using it. And even the Minghe is surprised to see this scroll and says, Map of the mountains and rivers. Dijun uses the scroll to pull everyone into him. And seeing this situation, Minghe got angry and says, Dijun, you dare to bully me? And she uses her power to create a barrier across the mansion and says, I'll fight you to the death. And as she is saying this, Mara King bumps into her, and the collision causes the barrier to break, and she asks Minghe for help. Ancestor, help me. But on the other hand, Minghe and Kunpeng are also drawn into it. And when they all go inside the scroll, Dijun closes the scroll and says, once I take you all back to the heavenly court and interrogate you thoroughly, I'll definitely find out the Yao Master's whereabouts. And the Yang Li, standing below, must also be thinking, what should I do now? And Dijun also sees Yang Li and introduces himself. I am Dijun, Emperor of the Heavens, and who are you? And he is also thinking that the mountains and rivers diagram is Lady Nuwa's treasure. Even a saint would need a corresponding divine artifact to counter it. And right there, Yang Li is also thinking, now that he's asking who I am, how should I respond? It looks like Dijun has a grudge against Minghe's family. Should I tell the truth? Oh, I'm Yang Li, Minghe's stepfather, and a real man takes responsibility. Since I've adopted this child, I'll stand up for Mingyi and her family. May I ask why you've taken away Mingyi and her family? And after hearing this, Dijun goes into anger and start thinking that Mingyi is the remnant of Pangus impure blood, comparable to the great saints of the heavenly Dao. Who in the desolation realm is qualified to be her stepfather? Doesn't that place them on par with Pangu himself? I can't even discern this person's spiritual energy or cultivation level. Could it be Nu? He calls himself Ming's stepfather. I need to probe this mysterious expert's background, and he asks Brother Yang, where is your Dao field? I've lived in the heavenly court for a long time and have never heard of you before. Yang Li answer him, I've always resided at the end of Dao and rarely ventured out. That's probably why I'm not well known. And when Dijun hears this, he gets angry and says, what a nonsense is this? I showed you sincerity and respect, but you dare lie to me. And after that, we got a little explanation about Dao. The end of the Great Dao is the singularity before the universe of the Desolation Realm was formed, containing the 3,000 Great Daos. It gave birth to 3,000 primordial demons and countless extraordinary beasts, each terrifying and immensely powerful. When Pangu opened the heavens, the end of the Great Dao disappeared. Even the saintly teacher Hongjun couldn't locate it. Even if someone were lucky enough to enter, it's a place where divine abilities are suppressed and spiritual energy cannot be absorbed. Not even Lady Nuwa or Dao ancestor Hongjun dare stay there for long. Even Wai Dijun was born when Pangus left Ai turned into the true sun during the creation of the world. And I emerged as the three-legged golden crow. And after the explanation, Dijun says, and yet you claim to live at the end of the Great Dao? Let's see how long you can keep up this act. And he starts to prepare attack. And seeing this, the Yang Li becomes very frightened and says, oh no, if you have something to say, please let's talk it over nicely and don't use violence. And when he raises his hand to protect himself, a strong energy comes out of his hand that ends Dijun attack. And because of the combination of these two energies, there is a big blast, and even the Dijun is surprised to see it. And he says, how is this possible, my true sun flame? And the Yang Li standing below is also worried and says, what just happened? I just blocked it with a single push? I get it now. Another illusion. It's just like the time I was at the end of the Great Dao. The terrifying monsters, with their fire-breathing and thunder-spewing abilities, were all illusions meant to scare me. You Taoist, hiding Minghe and her daughter, using illusions to frighten me. What are you, a human trafficker? And he loads his punch towards Dijun and takes a long leap and delivers a powerful punch to Dijun's face. And he makes two punches and attacks Dijun directly on the chest and throws him down. And he come down and start walking to him. Dijun says, you dare to hit me. And he start to think, this hurts so much, I was born from the true sun itself. My bones and spirit were tempered by the true sun flame. And even that didn't hurt this much, and Yang Li approaches him and starts beating him, saying, I'm hitting you because you're a human trafficker. Relays them immediately. Dijun replied, you, I am the Emperor of Heaven, inheritor of the world's destiny, rules of all Yao kind, and the heavenly Emperor appointed by Hongjun ancestor himself. Even saints cannot strike me, yet you dare use such vulgar methods. After listening, this Yang Li says, who are you trying to fool? Emperor of the Yao, heavenly Emperor. With your pitiful state, even the grannies who dance in front of my building could beat you up and down the block. And hurry up and release my stepdaughter and her mother, or I'll keep beating you. Dijun says, let go of me. You let go first. Ouch, you're pulling too hard. Yang Li says, what's with you? A grown man whining like a woman. I haven't even used my full strength, and you're already crying about the pain. And at that point, Dijun was thinking, what's happening to me? My spiritual energy is completely gone. My body feels stuck in a mud pit, and I can't dodge his punches. I'm supposed to be impervious to all evils, an immortal quasi-saint. How did I end up getting beaten like this by this kid? Could it be he really is an unparalleled powerhouse who walked out of the end of Great Dao? If I've offended such a divine saint, maybe getting beaten up is the punishment I deserve. And when he's thinking this, Yang Li come close to him and says, hey, why are you dragging your feet? Hurry up and release them. Or do you want me to serve you another round of fist barrage? Dijun got scared and says, Brother Yang, please calm down, I'll release them right away. And he stand up and open his scroll to release them all. And when they all come back, Mingyi says, Dijun, you scoundrel, how dare you trap me with such despicable methods? I'll kill you. And she takes out the shovel that Yang Li gave her before, and she starts attacking Dijun. And he got sacred and say, what is this artifact? Why have I never seen Mingyi use it before? And on the other hand, Mara King was enjoying this, and she's saying the shovel contains the primal energy of Hongmeng and was refined by Mingyi herself. Its power is astonishing and unstoppable, far surpassing the combined might of the Abi and Yuan two swords the ancestor has named it, the Hongmeng Dao shovel. And after this, she comes beat Dijun with her shovel. And standing to the side, Yang Li is watching the two of them and wondering who they are fighting like children with, and he comes to Mingyi and grabs her hand before he can hit him. And he takes the shovel from her and says, "Kids, stay out this. Stepfather will handle it." Mingyi stands there surprised and wondering how he took this from me so easily. Dijun says, You just snatched it like that?" Yang Li asks, "What? Did you really want her to hit you with it?" And the Mara King standing behind is thinking, no wonder the ancestor recognizes him as a stepfather. No wonder he survived the end of the Great Dao, eating anything he found. I need to cling tightly to Yang Li's thigh. Mingyi asks, "Hey, Dijun, what's up with your eye?" "Oh, and your face, what happened to it?" Dijun says, Minghe, I'll give you an innate spiritual treasure, the Tashuan true killing sword, if you promise not to tell anyone about my injuries." Minghe laughs and says, "Oh, I don't want your sword. Give me another spiritual treasure, and tell me how you made these injuries appear on the outside." Dijun thinking that you bullying an honest person. "If it weren't for this saint being your stepfather back in the day, I would have." But the Yang Li comes to them and says to them, forget it. As the saying goes, don't hit a person's face. I acted out of frustration. You don't seem like a truly wicked person, so maybe ease up on all those flashy illusions. Even practicing some basic exercise would toughen you up better than this. Dijun got shocked and says, basic exercise. What do you mean? And start thinking, is that the divine technique that gave me these bruise and black eye? Mingyi says, stepfather, I want to learn these exercise. And start thinking I haven't fully refined the Hongmeng Dao shovel, yet he snatched it from me effortlessly. This so-called exercise must be an unparalleled technique. I must to learn it. Yang Li answers, all right, kids need more physical activity. And the other in Dijun was too scared and thinking thousands of years old demon king acting like a child to get what she wants. Mara King comes to Yang Li and says, Brother Yang, can I also learn it? Yang Li says, of course, everyone can join in. The second set of national middle school broadcasting exercises. The times are calling. Ready? Let's begin. Stretching exercise. 2, 3, 4 dots, 5 dots, 6, 7, 8. Ming is thinking, what is this? The movements are odd and a bit awkward, but I feel this strange sense of joy and waves of warm energy or circulation inside me. But Kunpeng was enjoying this and saying exactly, I've stuck at a bottleneck in my cultivation for so long. Yet after doing just a few moves, I feel like I'm about through. Yang Li tell all of them, cross your arms. And when they cross their hands, a strong energy is created there due to the crossing of all their hands. And due to the creation of this energy, a strong wave is released, which, while touching the earth, goes straight to purple heaven beyond the 33 heavens. And the godfather of that heaven, his eyes get open. Then a person appears who was Taiking Dao de Tianzun, Taishang Lao Jun, and someone's called him Taiking. I thought old ox of yours had finally passed away. And this person was Yu King Yuanshi. Tianzun, Taiking asks, Master summoned us here. Do you know why? Yuanshi says not yet, but it might have something to do with the golden light of creation. And suddenly the swords appear. They both says that swords hum. And from that, swords of beautiful women comes out, who was Shangqing Ling Bao Tianzun, Tongtian Jiaozhu. And she says, old friends, it has been a while. Yuanshi says, old friend, why do you appear as a woman now? She answers, we are formless brings. Naturally, we take on any appearance we desire. And at that point, a light appears and another person comes. 2 Western Buddhas, first one was Jain Taoist and second one was Junti Taoist. They all says, and suddenly another light appears. And from that lighting, Holy Mother of Creating, Nuwa comes out and she says, it has been a long time. Everyone, Jiaozhu asks Lady Nuwa, our master Hongjun Lao Zu has been asleep for thousands of years. Why has he suddenly awakened today summoning us here? Does I have something to do with disturbance in the desolate realm? Lady Nuwa says all being are bound within the cycle of the heavenly Dao, and only then could master rest peacefully. But now the heavenly Dao is in Chao's. Even I cannot divine its mysteries. Let's see how master explains it. Let's enter the hall to pay our respect. And they all go to the godfather's house together, and the Hongjun, who is the godfather, tells them all the desolate realm continent is now extremely stable. And you 6 can follow me to comprehend the Dao and become the 6 saints of chaos. But now an unknown supreme force of creation has emerged, reshaping and reforming a new world. Do you know why? Taixing was thinking, could the commotion just now not have been caused by Master? Jiaozhu says, Master, such an earth-shaking event. Only you have the power to accomplish it. No other supreme saint could manage such a feat. But Hongjun says I was also awakened by the primal creation Jade Disc, which represents the heavenly Dao. It reveled that above the heavenly Dao lies the Great Dao, which all realms of the desolate realm must obey. But what this Great Dao is I have yet to uncover. Everyone got shocked and say, what? Even Master couldn't divine it, and the two Buddhas Jiayin and Junti was thinking, this is far more serious than we thought. And great changes are always followed by great tribulation. Hongjun says the heavenly secrets are shifting. Once you return to the desolate realm, investigate thoroughly for anything unusual. If you find anything incomprehensible, report it to me immediately. And everyone answered, understood, Master. And then we are shown the Yangli, who is a little tired from doing exercise, and he says, all done. This exercise routine is called Komos. If everyone practices it one a day, you'll stay healthy and strong. But what's going on? Why is everyone just standing there frozen? And within the consciousness of certain individuals, and everyone was saying, what kind of divine exercise is this? After completing one set, it feels like I'm witnessing the endless evolution of the Great Dao. Exactly. Every pore in my body is greedily absorbing this essence. I feel lighter. My skin's smoother. I feel like I've grown hundreds of years younger. But the Dijun was thinking the endless power of the Great Dao is like an immense, insurmountable mountain. Before this ineffable, supreme Great Dao, I can only hate my own weakness. I can see it, but I can't grasp it. Like an ant at the base of Mount Buzhou. Although our realms have advanced, the power of a saint still feels unreachable, like peeking through a distant gate. And everyone start crying, and Mingyi says to see but not obtain, it's too painful, too cruel. Yangli tells them, are you serious? The simple broadcast exercise and you still didn't get it? If you didn't get it, I can teach it again. Why are you crying? And Yangli comes Minghe and says, it's fine. I have even simpler ones like Young Eagles Take Fight or Seven-Colored Sunshine. There's bound to be one you can manage. Mara King says, yes. The path of cultivation is incredibly challenging. Yang no saint, Yang is right. If you fail, you can try again. How can we be scared off by difficulty? Dijun says exactly for Yangli to possess such power and enlightenment, he must truly be a saint, perhaps even more exalted than Hongjun himself. And yet, Saint Yang humbles himself, pretending to casually teach others such techniques. This is truly an act of immense virtue, and he says to Yangli, O Saint Master, your kindness is boundless. Please accept this disciple's bow. And everyone bow to him and says, please accept this disciple's bow. Yangli says, what? Teaching you all a dance makes me a master saint now. And after this, find out anything, let me know. And then we are shown the Yangli, before whom everyone is bowing and saying, please accept this disciple's bow. The Yangli speaks to them all, stop bowing. What, Saint Master? Are you mocking me? I'm just an ordinary mortal. That wasn't some divine martial art I taught you. Don't misunderstand. And Dijun starting thinking that the Saint Master is truly noble, passing down such a profound technique, yet refusing any reference. Speaking of the Saint Master, his demeanor is so pure and unassuming, every movement, every word of his carries no trace of divine majesty. Had I not witnessed his astounding cultivation and extraordinary abilities myself, no one would believe this ordinary-looking young man is so powerful. An ordinary mortal achieving celestial heights. Could this be the Saint Master's sacred path? Mingyi says my stepfather must have his reasons for acting this way. Since he's unwilling to reveal the truth, we shouldn't pry further and risk disrupting his cultivation. Dijun says, meeting Yang, brother, today, I finally realized where my destiny lies. Yangli says I punched you and you're not angry, good. But brother, what did you mean earlier about finding my stepdaughter for Kunpeng? Dijun first looks at Mingyu, who is standing next to Yangli, and then he tells him that Kunpeng is one of my trusted aides, but he's been missing for a long time. Yesterday, I found trace he left behind and learned that Minghe had also appeared there. So I came to inquire. Yangli says Minghe is just a child. What use would he have for Kunpeng? But Mara King says, Brother Yang, perhaps you don't know. Minghe is innately intelligent, far beyond her peers. Our family elders, myself included, even as her mother, we often deeper to her. Matters are well known to outsiders whenever something happens. They all consult Minghe. Yangli says, Will, that explains it. Who wouldn't though you were a prodigy, Minghe? After all, we didn't see anyone else when we came out of the Great Dao yesterday. I've never heard of Kunpeng. And then Mingyi looks at Kunpeng. The Kunpeng is speaking with folded hands. Please don't tell anyone. And then Mingyi says, I don't know, haven't seen him. Dijun thinks Kunpeng's life lamp hasn't gone out, so he's safe. His aura even indicates his strength has greatly increased. If he and Minghe were indeed in the same place, then Kunpeng must gain some fortune from Yangli. But why does he refuse to show himself? In the courtyard, aside from Yangli, Minghe, and Mara, the only other presence is this fat chicken on the ground. Surely it can't be that chicken, right? As the demon master, Kunpeng holds a prestigious position. He has no reason to pledge allegiance to outsiders. Never mind. Kunpeng must have his reasons. And he says, Brother Yang, I suddenly remembered something important. I must take my leave. Also need to return the mountains and rivers state map to Lady Nuwa. Yangli says, huh? Oh, all right. Farewell, Emperor. Minghe says, get lost already. And then Daijun returns to Nuwa's palace, and he says in less than half a day, the prehistoric realm has transformed completely. The filth accumulated over countless eons has dissipated by more than half. Upon returning to the heavenly court, I'll need to reorganize the demon clan's forces to adapt to these changes. And if Lady Nuwa sees this later, it'll be hard to explain. And then we Nuwa's palace, and inside a palace a lady was. Telling to Lady Nuwa that Majesty Emperor Arjun is here. Lady Nuwa says, Your Majesty has returned so quickly, did you find Kunpeng? If Mingi didn't know you had mountains and river state map, she surely would have been under your control. Dijun answers, My lady. Kunpeng remains missing, and there are peculiarities with Minga's situation. Lady Nuwa says, Peculiarities, huh? Tell me more about, and what happened to your eyes? With your cultivation level, even if you were injured, it shouldn't show. Yet your eyes, Dijun says this is... Lady Nuwa got angry and says, Which saint dared to toy with you like this? Do they truly not regard me, Nuwa, at all? And because of her anger, even the ladies standing there fall. Dijun start to explain, What did really happen, Lady Nuwa? Please calm your anger. The ancestor Mingi discovered some secret technique and sacrificed her boundless blood sea to break into the end of the Great Dao. After enduring significant suffering, she was rescued by a saint. As for my eyes, they were injured when I offended this saint. Honestly, I can't blame the saint. I was at fault, and this punishment is deserved. Lady Nuwa says the end of the Great Dao? A saint has also discovered this place? Even Dao ancestor Hongjun himself searched in vain for it. Mingi must have had remarkable fortune. Who knows what opportunities she encountered? Which saint would act so recklessly? You are, after all, the emperor of the heavenly court. Leaving the mark on you damages your dignity. I've met the other 5 saints before, and none of them mentioned this incident. Di-Yun tells the saint is unfamiliar to me. He introduced himself as Yang Li, claiming to have resided at the end of the Great Dao for a long time. He has never set foot on the Great Desolation realm, but his cultivation is unfathomable, undoubtedly at the saint level. And in this world, the laws of heaven and destiny have their own rules. There are only 6 saints under heaven now, and while there may be more in the future, it absolutely shouldn't be this soon. Could this be the result of a shift in destiny? How could saint appear out of nowhere, and she says, Let me restore your sight. When you lead the demon clan in the future, act prudently. This great desolation realm is no longer the same as it once was. And then we are shown the gate of the underworld, where the Lady Nuwa is standing and thinking. Yang Li. This saint named Yang Li possesses strength that is likely immeasurable. While healing Emperor Arjun's injuries, I had to refine the essence of 100,000 cubic meters of fertile soil just to treat his bruised eye socket. Fortunately, this person had no intent to kill when he acted. Otherwise, the thorn of the heavenly emperor might have already changed hands. And she goes inside this portal and goes straight to the underworld, where Mingi sees her coming. Lady Nuwa says, Strange. My divine sense scanned the area, but apart from some demons, I couldn't find anyone notable. Is someone deliberately hiding from me? Mingi asked behind Lady Nuwa. Ha ha ha, Lady Nuwa. What do I owe the honor of your presence? It must be Emperor Arjun who exposed Yang Li's existence. But I wonder if there's some entanglement between this Saint Yang Li and Lady Nuwa. Lady Nuwa asks, Is Yang Li here? Please take me to him. And Mingi makes weird face after hearing this, but Lady Nuwa asks with her anger and scary aura. That well, Mingi, Jay here you ventured into the end of the Great Dao. Did you gain some opportunity there? Now you dare to disregard even a saint's words? Mingi got scared, and she says that saint indeed resides here. But he has no interest in the Great Desolation. He lives freely and has even taken the form of a mortal, seemingly to re-experience the mysteries of this Dao. I fear that taking you to him would disrupt his cultivation, causing him to lose all his progress, and inciting his wrath. Lady Nuwa says, Nonsense. I've never heard of such a method. If you don't take me to him now, I'll show you. The wrath of a saint, Mingi, says, all right, this way, please. And they both go to the mansion, where Kunpeng is exercising. But something hits him from behind, and he goes straight into the wall and says angrily, You're ambushing me. Who dares? And when he sees Lady Nuwa, his condition becomes tight, and he says while crying, Lady Nuwa, please have mercy. Kunpeng has suffered greatly. Look at my body, I've lost so much weight. But the Lady Nuwa doesn't understand anything. And just then, the Yang Li comes and says, What's going on out there? Why all the noise? But Yang Li got surprised to see the Lady Nuwa and says, What a stunning beauty. What a beautiful woman, her hands soft as tender shoots, her skin like smooth cream, neck graceful, like a swan's teeth as fine as jade, her bright eyes captivating, truly a beautiful of the highest order. Amidst her elegance and nobility lies vibrant charm. Beneath her cold demeanor, there's a delicate allure. I've run out of words to describe her. Lady Nuwa thinks what an impudent rascal. Since when has a saint of such stature been scrutinized with eyes like that? And the Yangli starts looking at Letty from top to bottom, and that place too, I mean Bobus. Lady Nuwa uses her saint pressure, but it doesn't affect to Yangli, and he says, the wind's picking up. There's a faint fragrance in the air, but the lady uses her saint power and places her finger on the Yangli's head. Yangli removes her finger and says, what are you doing? Wow, her hand's so soft. And the Lady Nuwa got surprised to see this. And Mingy says, phew, I thought I was about to get dragged into a saint-level battle. But Yangli starts flirt her and says, Miss, let's not get fuhanzi, shall we? If you're really interested in me, well, I wouldn't mind. Perhaps we could have a chat in my small courtyard and get to know each other better. What do you say? Lady Nuwa answers very well. Please lead the way. And they both start going to the mansion, and seeing this, Mingy gets a little irritated, but Kunpeng says, I didn't dare look up just now. Tell me, does this count as Lady Nuwa being teased? Mingy says, what? Nonsense, clearly. It's the snail emperor teasing my stepfather. And after this, our chat. And then we see inside the mansion where both Yangli and Lady Nuwa was sitting. She's thinking that he's probably the Saint Emperor Jun mentioned. Otherwise, he wouldn't have casually neutralized that attack. To think that a single finger from that saint didn't even unleash any power, yet it was completely resolved when he nullified my attack earlier. He didn't reveal even trace of his aura. His cultivation must surpass mine. Truly worthy of someone from the end of the Great Dao. I must tread carefully and probe his purpose in coming to the Great Desolation. The demon and human clans spread throughout the land may inevitably be caught in the cows. I need to protect them. It's a pity I initially mistook him for a mortal and acted rashly. I hope this won't create any negative karma. But on the other hand, Yangli was thinking that this young lady is really stunning, but she's just too enthusiastic. First meeting and already getting handsy. Looks like she's quite fond of me. Could this be what they call love at first sight? It's a bit overwhelming for me. When I first transmigrated here, I spent 10 years clearing the wilderness. I don't even have a decent foundation, and I'm still living in my stepdaughter's house. What qualifications do I have for romance? What a shame, though. If only I could wait until I've achieved something before accepting her feelings. Sigh, fate is so cruel. And he says, my name is Yang Li. May I ask for the young lady's name? Lady Nuwa says, a fake name. The true name of a saint resonates with the heavenly Dao. But when he revealed his name, there wasn't any reaction. Clearly, he made it up. If that's the case, then I will. My name is Hong Xiu. But the red embroidery says who I am then? Yang Li asks. So you're Miss Hong Xiu. May I ask, Miss Hong, why you've come here? No, this feels a bit like a matchmaking meeting. Lady Nuwa says, I noticed Emperor Jun had a bruise on his eyes. After inquiring about the matter, I decided to visit you. Yang Li says, oh, so it's about that, huh? I'm impressed that guy dares to call himself the Heavenly Emperor, got beaten up, and then a girl to help him seek revenge? Why does this D. Jun think he is? If he's got a problem, he should come directly to me. What a coward. If I weren't so handsome, and Hong Xiu wasn't captivated by me at first sight, this could have escalated into a fight. Wouldn't that have forced me to hit a woman? Bagging, cowardly, and cunning, what a despicable man. Meanwhile, we see the heavenly court, and Dijin was doing some work on that palace, but because of Yang Li words, he got in strong shock. And again, we see Yang Li, and he says, actually, that matter was just a misunderstanding. To sum it up, Hong Xiu, you seem quite young, so let me give you some advice. Take it from me, stay away from guys like Dijun. Hanging around him might get you struck by lightning one day. But the Lady Nuwa says, I can't quite follow his reasoning. But since I don't fully understand his background, I'd better not interrupt, Yang Li asks. By the way, missing Hong, what do your parents do? Where are you working now? But the Lady Nuwa thinks that is he trying to probe my background? Parents, huh? Does this mysterious saint want to confirm if I'm a descendant of the great Pangu? And she says I am a naturally born being, shaped by the Tao's creation and innate spirit. And work? Are you asking where I live as I reside in WA Palace? Yang Li says naturally born, so she's an orphan. How pitiful, Aya Palace. That sounds oddly familiar, but suddenly the system appears and says, host has encountered one of the saints and a key figure, the Supreme Empress Nuwa. The ultimate invincible creation system prompts, Heaven and Earth Calamity Mission activated. Host must identify other key factors of the calamity to activate the creation system. Key elements illuminated. Rewards. 5-colored chaos divine stone. Creation essence of 9 heaven soil have been placed in the system space. Please check. The Supreme Empress, Nuwa? Isn't that one of Nuwa's titles? Could it be that Wei Palace is actually Nuwa's palace? Oh, so you live in W.A. Palace? Don't tell me you're... And the Lady Nuwa was getting tension and says, damn it, earlier the Minghe talked about. And the Minghe says, stepfather's strange technique for disguising as a mortal? Could it be, it's about to be exposed? Are you one of the fairies working in W.A. Palace? An iron rice bowl, huh? After hearing this, everyone's expression got weird, and Kunpeng says, well, you could say that. Yang Li says, Hongshu, I understand your feelings, and I won't hide anything from you. I just came from a poverty-stricken palace. Right now, I have nothing to offer you. You should go back. If I ever achieve great things in the future, I will come to a palace myself to meet you again. But the Lady Nuwa gets shocked and says, feelings? What feelings of mine? As a saint, claiming you want to achieve great things could impact countless beings across the Great Desolation. This saint before me has unfathomable cultivation, clearly surpassing mine. Even now, no matter how I probe with divine sense, he appears as an ordinary mortal. If you wish to achieve great things, I have no objections. There is a race in the Great Desolation, the humans. They are innocent and kind, yet extremely weak. When you strip up the storm, I hope you can look out for them out of today's brief connection. Yang Li says, you want me to protect humans? Do I really have that kind of influence? Don't worry, I am human myself. Of course, I'll protect humans. And after she heard this, she got shocked. And then we saw Di Jun, who was saying that out of nowhere, why am I getting struck by lightning? Weird. Wait, how could this be? The luck of the demon suddenly began to be surpassed. And then we saw an unknown person who was saying, my cultivation is being restrained by heaven and earth. And then we see Hong Jun again, who was saying, there's actually something like this happening, and the human race will be prosperous. And then we see Yang Li and Lady Nuwa again. She stand up and thanks to Yang Li and says, my friend, in the future, if you ever need anything, I, Hong Xiu, will do everything I can to help. Yang Li says, it's not big deal. I just casually agreed, and she's so moved. Women in the Great Desolation are way too easy to appease. Lady Nuwa was thinking that the strength of the demon clan and witch clan is formidable. Once their leaders notice the flow of fortune shifting toward humans, they will undoubtedly target the human race. I need to hurry back and look after things. And she says to Yang Li, thank you, my friend. I have urgent matters to attend to, so I'll take my leave now. Wishing you all the best, Yang Li answers. Oh, all right, you go ahead. And then Lady Nuwa gives in little smile and get back to her palace. And on that time, Kunpeng was thinking that the Lady Nuwa should help cover up what happened here since we belong to the same race. Besides, when Hong Jun taught the Dao in Purple Heaven Palace, I was there too. It's just that due to chance, Lady Nuwa became a saint while I didn't make the cut. Sigh, I'm just a demon king who almost became a saint. Remaining about the past. And from his behind, Yang Li asks, hey, little gray, why are you squatting on the ground like that? And then Kunpeng make innocent face and says, now the time to cling to someone powerful. But the Yang Li, though, this chicken's looking crooked in days, is it sick or something? And he kicked Kunpeng and says, from now on, keep your distance from me, got it? And the Kunpeng says, wasn't that smile just gave fawning? Wait, could it be that saints don't like ass lickers? And the Minghe thought that what happened to Kunpeng? Why'd he get beaten up? Stepfather's temper is so unpredictable. I better tread carefully. And Yang Li says, while checking the rewards in the system space just now, I realized that these rewards, 5-colored chaos, divine stone, and creation essence of 9 heaven soil, seems related to Nuwa as a fairy from Wei Palace. Hongzhu should know how to use these items, right? Even this time, the system rewards gave no instructions. I really can't figure out what to do with them. 5-colored chaos, divine stones, creation essence of 9 heavenly soil toy like slingshot, rusty axe, sharp long blade. Just going by the names, all I can think of is the story of Nuwa mending the heavens. Could these stones be some kind of construction material? The system did say that encountering key figures of the heaven and earth calamity would fully activate it. Holy Mother Nuwa molded humans and patched the heavens. Theses are myths passed down for ages. But what other figures or events can trigger it? I never cared about mythology before, so I have no clue who the key figures are. Wait, Gong Gong smashing Buzhou Mountain probably counts, right? That event triggered Nuwa's need to mend the heavens. Didn't Mara give me some kind of secret text before? I can check what kind of figure Gong Gong was in the Great Desolation. I vaguely remember he fought someone. But when he opened it, it was blanked. He says this thing doesn't have any text either. Oh, right. I can't activate it without using immortal techniques. Man, it's like it's encrypted or something. And he called Mingy to come here, and in 0.001 second, Mingy comes there and says, "Stepfather, in here, what do you need me to do?" Yang says to him, "Minghe, you should be able to read this jade slip, right? Give me an introduction to the force of the Great Desolation." Mingus asked Stepfather. "Why are you looking at this?" Yang replied. "The Great Desolation vast, I want to take a look around. It's better to understand things in advance so I'm not clueless when I head out." And the Mingy hot shocked, and she burn it and says, "All right then, Stepfather. I'll tell you about the forces in the Great Desolation now," Yang says. "Okay, then go ahead." And Mingy start to explain. The entire Great Desolation. It's a place filled with scheming and slaughter everywhere. The demon clan and witch clan fight constantly, and all 10 directions of the heavens with countless races are engulfed in war. It's all about you kill me, I'll kill you. The Great Desolation is just that kind of place right now. Yang gets shocked and says, "Geez, it's that dangerous? I'm just a mortal, why am I even looking gong gong? That guy can knock Deakin mountains. I probably can't even get close to him. No, I need to cultivate immortality to protect myself. At the very least, I need to learn how to fly otherwise. I can't even run away properly." Both Mara and Mingy seem to have mystical abilities. But no, that's definitely not my style. Too gloomy and ominous, I should leave this dark underworld and head into the Great Desolation to find a master. And he start thinking that he's flying on a sword, and a rogue immortal would be fine. Anyone more powerful probably wouldn't take me on since I've started to late. And then he starts to leave while riding Kunpeng. But Minghe starts crying and says, "Ugh, I had a golden opportunity, but I sweet-talked too much, and in the end, he left. I hate this. But I really had no choice. I didn't dare stop him and could only watch Stepfather walk away helplessly. I wish I could leave too, but sacrificing the Blood Sea earlier already hurt my core. The Underworld is my birthplace, only here can I fully recover." And she says loudly, "Stepfather, wait for me. I'll definitely come find you." Yang given smile and opens the portal, then leave. And when he comes to Great Desolation, he says, "Whoa, so this is the Great Desolation. It's so beautiful. The Great Desolation is amazing. My little daughter was crying when I left just now. She was pretty cute," Kunpeng thought. "Mingy is a demon lord. Mingy is an old scoundrel. Cute." "Seriously," Yang says, "fly lower and keep it subtle. Our strength is too weak to stand out. And speaking of which, Minga's mother was crying and begging to come along, protect me. But someone has to take care of Minga too, right? I refused. Besides, it'd be so weird to have someone's mother tagging along. I need to have ambition. I'll find a master in the Great Desolation on my own. Shouldn't be a problem." Though so far, the Great Desolation doesn't seem as scary as Mingy said. "I've been flying for ages and haven't seen anything dangerous yet. Looks like there's forest ahead." And he go inside of that forest and he says, "Such a massive forest, there must be beasts inside? I wonder if it's more dangerous than the wilderness. But I'm pretty at hunting, so this shouldn't be an issue." And when all beasts hear this, they start shaking and got too scared. But suddenly Yang Li sees something and says, beats startled, "Something's happening." And he come on ground and starts spying and says, "So be quiet." Kunpeng says, "Even as saints are on guard, there must be something incredibly dangerous ahead." Yang Li says it's look like there's nothing after all. "Whatever, I'll go take a closer look." And he sees a broken tree and says that these trees, several meters thick, are snapped. Looks like they were smashed through. That's terrifying. And whoa, this hole in the ground is massive. Better stay far away, there might be a monster inside. I should grab a weapon for self-defense. And then we see Tongtian, and she says, strange. My 4 swords of immortals are super meat-killing treasures of swordsmanship. Why does it feel like something's surpassing them today? I'd like to see whose sword it is." And then we see Yang Li, who was searching for something and saying, "Where is the enemy? The birds flying chaotically can't be for no reason what scared the beasts away." But the Kunpeng was thinking, even though I can't sense anything, that just proves how terrifying the enemy too is. With my current cultivation, if I can't detect a trace of their presence, it must be a saint. But suddenly he sees Tongtian and says, "Could it be the Lord Tongtian? When did she arrive? If I'm not wrong, even before she appeared, my master had already to take precautions. That proves that master's cultivation is absolutely above hers. Master must have predicted hours ago that Lord Tongtian would come here, which is why he has been so cautious. Impressive master." But Tongtian says, "What's this demon master doing here? After disappearing for so long, his strength has improved a lot. This demon master has indeed worked hard. Back in the Purple Heaven Palace, we almost became fellow disciples. Too bad Kunpeng's fortune wasn't strong enough. And strange, I could feel sword intent emanating in the palace earlier. But now I'm closer, I can't sense anything. Even my magical sluggish, as if something is surpassing them. Never mind, I'll just go ask about it. And she come to Yangli through a portal. And because of the bump with it, she falls and says, "How is this possible?" My divine sense clearly shows this place is empty. How did someone just appear out of nowhere? Yangli says, "Hey miss, I didn't move, right? So why are you bumping into me like this?" But seriously, even in the great desolation, are beautiful women pulling scams now? Hmm, I get what you mean, but I'm not dumb. If you think you can extort me, dream on. And he starts to leave from there. Kunpeng says, "Has master already understood what Tongtian meant?" And even knocked her down. But Tongtian say he understood what I meant. What did I even mean? Who is this person? Sneakily plotting against me. A saint acting so despicably. A sword. Looks like he noticed I was interested in his sword and gave me a warning on propose. Luckily, he didn't draw the sword at that time. He showed me mercy. I'm always the one laying traps for others. Nobody dares mess with me. And she teleport again to Yangli. But because of this, Yangli got scared and says, "Are you crazy? Appearing out of nowhere like a ghost?" Tongtian says, "I was behind you, and why didn't notice? Why did you suddenly stop and turn around? If you want to talk, can't you just send a voice transmission?" Yangli says, "Now I see. This woman isn't pretending to be dumb. She really is dumb. And I'm just a mortal. How would I know that? I can't transmit voices." Tongtian says, "Oh, you're a mortal. This is the first time I've met a saint with a temper stranger than mine. And you like pretending to be mortal, huh? But wait, saint's mind should be perfectly clear. Why does my sword's aura seem so unstable? Hesitant. A mortal, really? This person looks so strange. If Kunpeng weren't quietly following him, I'd think he's just ordinary mortal you'd find anywhere. Wait, saint can feel hunger, and their stomach can growl? And the Yangli pulls out a squirrel from his system's inventory, and the Kunpeng says, "Such a strong aura of supreme Dao, he's finally dropping the mortal act." I've seen this phenomenon many times, but I still don't know what kind of treasure this is. And Yangli shot on the sky, and that hit straight to dragon, and that dragon fall to ground. And then the Yangli say, although it looks a bit shabby, it's big enough, and the ment is plenty. I won't be too prickly. This slingshot from the system is truly remarkable, auto-aiming, and every shot is guaranteed to hit. Even if there's no visible target, it can hit something. That's why I only use it when I have a clear aim. If I accidentally hit a god, that'd be bad. The god might be fine. But I'd definitely suffer. But the Yangli brings some sticks to make a fire, and the Tongtian was shocked because of that shot, and she says, "It's a karmic treasures. It strikes later but takes effect first, reversing cause and effect." In other words, the moment the slingshot is fired, the result is already determined. The process in between is merely filled in by the Tao. It's not that the beast dies because it was hit by the shot. It's because the beast was destined to die. So it was hit by the shot, and the Kunpeng was thinking that the water god of the northern heaven, one of Emperor Jun's most trusted subordinates, come to think of it, he's technically one of my subordinates too. And now he's dead, just like that, from a slingshot, poor guy. I wonder if he tastes good. And Yangli was saying, starting a fire is such a pain. How did people in the Great Desolation make fires? Did they all just use immortal techniques? If only I'd brought that fire-breathing monster bird I caught at the end of the Great Dao. I used it as my personal firelighter to cook food every day. Now I have to make some fires myself, it's too troublesome. And he finally burned a fire, but Tongtian used her immortal technique to burn a fire. And after seeing this, Yangli got surprised and says, "An immortal is near me? Miss, may I ask where you cultivate? Could you kindly point key to your immortal abode?" Tongtian says, "At least you've got some sense." But suddenly she starts shaking and says, "What's going on? Why is my luck dissipating so suddenly?" And the Yangli was thinking, is it so difficult her to give me a recommendation? Now that I think about it, this woman survives by pretending to be dumb and scamming others. Clearly her abilities aren't great. She's probably just an outer disciple or something. Maybe she can start a fire, but that's probably just a beginner's trick. But the Tongtian getting a head pain and she says, "It's him. This strange saint bowed to me, and my luck instantly took a huge hit. Looks like he's a mighty being from primordial era. I was formed from Pangus essence, so naturally I rank below him. The heavens have ordered, and all things have their place. The strongest one's cultivation, the more constrained they are by the Tao. Every action must follow the rules. This saint's bow was unjustified, so I was punished by the Tao. If it came to direct fight, once the immortal slaying sword formation is unleashed, no one in the world would date to face it head on. Even my teacher would have to step aside. This person is so despicable, using their lineage and shamelessly ruining my cultivation through a mere bow. And the Yangli says when I bowed, she stepped aside clearly unwilling to give me guidance. Forget it, if she doesn't want to say anything, so be it. I'd better slice the meat into smaller pieces, or it won't cook evenly. And he started to cut that meat in pieces, and then we saw Heavenly Court, where Dijun was thinking, this Saint Yangli is clearly different from the other saints of the Great Desolation. He seems much more approachable. Although we've had misunderstandings, and he even hit me. Overall, he's a good saint. Lady Nuwa may have the title of a saint of the demon race, but she never intervened when the 12 ancestral witches act arrogantly. I always have to handle it myself. If I can befriend Saint Yangli, perhaps he could help me. Then dealing with the witches clan would be a breeze. Especially that Gong Gong, he's excessively violent. Controlling the power of water, he constantly foods my demon clansmen. He'll be the first I deal with. And he says to his guard, you, go to the Northern Water God Palace and invite the Divine General Zhu Ying. Zhu Ying also controls the power of water. With decent strength, he can compete with Gong Gong for authority. He's worth cultivating. However, he's a fierce demon who likes to devour humans. Lady Nuwa greatly disapproves of him, so I'll need to discipline him well. And after this, our chapter ends here, and the next episode will come very soon. So wait a little till then, and bye-bye for now.